Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mythlok with your host Nitin Nair. Of the type of various characters that are available in mythology, I personally have always been very intrigued by both animals as well as hybrids because they bring out this level of fantasy that I really love, and the creativity involved in the people who created these myths or stories or folklore or truth in some cases which people tend to believe have totally amazed me from the day I was introduced to any of them. Now, the animals and the hybrids are a mix of fantasy, a mix of superhuman capability, and also in many cases have a very logical and intriguing storyline that demonstrates why they exist and how they exist. Many of them have a very important role to play in mythology in general and are usually known to help take the story forward by helping either the protagonist or the antagonist in the story or the legends. Now, there are many characters who depict either extreme negative characteristics or many of them who have extremely positive characteristics and are on the side of the gods or the mortals. But the conflicts between these animals with superhuman capabilities and the mere mortals have always been the source of a lot of debate and a lot of sub-storylines in mythology. Many of the southeastern mythologies have a fantastic lineup of animals that have their own place and importance in each of those mythologies. Now, especially in Indian mythology, where it was a very nature-centric kind of mythology in place, a lot of animals and hybrids made the cut. One of these animals from mythology who have actually stood this test of time and still continue to be worshipped is Nandi. Nandi, according to the Siddhantic tradition, was the chief guru of the 8 disciples of Nandinatha Sampradaya, namely Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanandana, Sanatkumara, Tirumular, Vyagrapada, Patanjali, and Sivayoga Muni, who were sent in 8 different directions to spread the wisdom and the knowledge attained in these times. The Chamites of Vietnam believe that when they die, Nandi will come and take his or her soul to India. The word Nandi comes from the Tamil word Nandhu, which means to grow or appear. In Sanskrit word Nandi, the divine guardian of the Shiva-Nandigan, has the same meaning. The worship of Lord Shiva and Nandi can be traced back to the Indus Valley civilization. There are many bull seals found in Harappa and Mohenjo, which indicate that the practice of worshipping the god has been around for thousands of years. Now, Nandi is a bull. It has been depicted both in black and in white colors, but the white color of the bull represents purity and justice. The seated bull at the center of the sanctum in a Shiva temple is a symbol of the individual jiva, or the individual personality of the soul or the spirit of a person should be focused on the Parameshwara or the supreme deity. In certain parts of India and within certain subsets of the Hindu religion, he is depicted as an anthropomorphic form with the head of a bull and 4 hands. Now, while in most cases and the most common depiction is that of an animal or a mount, where he is depicted as a full seating bull. Now, the seating bull also has its story where, if you would notice, most of the carvings, sculptures, drawings, etc. depict Nandi as sitting with folded hands, which is in reverence to Lord Shiva, for whom he is also a mount and a carrier. Also, the seating bull is seated outside the temple as a guardian. There are many implications to these depictions, and people make sure that they try to bring around the essence of what that particular Nandi sculpture or painting is all about. So, Nandi as a character or as a depiction in art has different symbolism associated with the way that it is actually described or depicted in different art forms. If we try to look back at the origin story of Nandi and how he came or how he was born, it is believed that he was born to the sun Shiva. Now, Saint Shilada was a huge devotee of Lord Shiva and had performed serious penance in trying to get the blessings of Lord Shiva and have a child who would have the qualities of his preferred deity. Now, he was blessed with a baby boy and was given the name Nandhu by Lord Shiva himself. It is also believed that Nandi, when he was born with a body made of diamonds, making him extremely strong and invulnerable to any of the natural elements out there. Having a body of natural armor also made him a prime candidate to become a guardian or a doorkeeper in many cultures. It has been suggested that the name Nandi was developed as a syncretism of various religious beliefs. In ancient texts which talk about Lord Shiva, this name Nandi was given to a character who was half human, half animal, and also known by the name Kailasha. But it is later understood that both Nandi and Kailasha are two distinct characters, each having their own claim to fame and their own roles within the pantheon, especially in stories that revolve around Lord Shiva. Now, most Shaivite temples have a depiction of a bull-headed figure known as Nandi, who is one of the chief attendants of Lord Shiva. He functions primarily as a mount or a vehicle used by Lord Shiva to travel, and also as a doorkeeper. Nandi is known to be one of the primary doorkeepers, especially as a protector to Lord Shiva's wife, Goddess Parvati. In other words, statues of him are often confused with images of a deity. Now, the respect shown to a bull in India is partly due to its association with the god Shiva. This should not be confused with the reverence that the Hindus have for the cow, which is once again an important part of the Hindu culture. The cow has its own symbolism that comes from being associated with Kamadhenu, or the mother cow, who actually gave everything to its worshippers or to the people around it. But then, the whole concept of a bull and cow both being very important to the lives of a Hindu stems from the fact that these are animals that are associated closely with the gods and the supreme beings in the culture. In places such as Varanasi, bulls are allowed to roam the streets. Now, it might seem strange to Western cultures or to any other cultures around the world where common animals are given as much respect as a god. Now, that is not the case in Indian culture, where there are plenty of such examples where natural elements or natural beings are accorded an equal status to that of the gods. This is primarily due to the way the whole mythology and the religion is structured, wherein you have the freedom to worship whoever you feel or attracted to or more connected with. And now some people actually felt more connected with elements that they can physically see, touch and feel. And so the whole concept of worshipping animals has actually come about from these practices. And this is not intrinsic to Indian culture either. There are many cultures around the world and many mythologies that actually propagate animals as deities or as gods, or in possession of abilities that actually defy human understanding. We will be exploring a lot more animals and hybrids that have importance in various mythologies as we go along, and we really look forward to having you as part of the journey. This is your host Nitin Nair, signing off by reminding you once again that Mythlok is the home of mythology.